PlayStation 5 has turned 1 year, and it's been an amazing one. Today we have lots of news to discuss about, from game reveals to rumors to the PlayStation 5 Year One celebration. To start off the topics, Guerrilla Games gives a detailed look at the new types of machine enemies that Aloy will encounter during her adventure in Horizon Forbidden West, with gameplay footage. Over on the PlayStation blog, Guerrilla Games has provided all new details regarding the machine enemies of Horizon Forbidden West. Among this new information is an increased lethality to these metal creatures, and how the player will survive battles against them on a regular basis. The world of Horizon is inhabited by highly advanced machines, technologically advanced robots that have become Earth's dominant species. They come in all shapes and sizes, based on various life forms that existed throughout history, such as dinosaurs, prehistoric mammals, and birds. Awe-inspiring yet ferocious, they pose a serious threat throughout Aloy's mission. Some of the machines encountered during the events of Horizon Zero Dawn will also be present in the upcoming sequel, Horizon Forbidden West. The Watcher, for example, resembling a small theropod, these machines often patrol larger herds and scan for potential threats. Or the Snapmaw, lethal, crocodile-like beasts which were originally created to purify water, and went feral as a consequence of the derangement. The Forbidden West is also filled with new dangers. In the Horizon Forbidden West gameplay trailer, Aloy meets a few of them, such as the fast and agile Clawstrider and the deadly mammoth-like Tremortusk. Of course there will be many more machines to fight, mount, or run from, so Aloy should be prepared for any circumstance in these forsaken lands. Principal machine designer Blake Politsky has been with Guerrilla since the first machines were concept at the start of Horizon Zero Dawn. Together with asset art lead Maxim Fleury, he explained the different types of machines. It was interesting to figure out what type of machines would live in different ecological zones, and how they would interact with each other, their environment, and of course humans. Machines are the so-called caretakers of this world, so how they perform their roles and what the player can do to use these behaviors to their advantage was always interesting to consider. During Horizon Zero Dawn's development, Guerrilla had a ton of ideas, but everything couldn't make it into the first game, but now with Horizon Forbidden West they have been able to match some exciting ideas that previously weren't feasible with new and interesting concepts. Blake provided some insights on the process of creation of these machines, which includes a design document that describes the general look of the machine, what type of interactive parts it has, and what sort of attacks it can do. There's some top-level drawings to explain the document further, but then the real visual design moves to the robot and weapon asset team. Concept artists will then make a 3D concept which goes through several reviews with art direction, game design, animation, and technical art teams until we're all happy. They'll create, rig, and animate a model to see if everything would work as needed, after which the modelers on the robot and weapon asset art team will work on it, adding in all the details. After a few more iterations with various teams, the model is fully animated, painted, textured, and reviewed again before being added to the game and replacing the temporary model. The process for developing each machine takes a long time, the machine designer stated. With over 25 different machines in Horizon Zero Dawn, finishing them all was not an easy feat. In the first game we had to create the foundation, says Blake, so we started small by defining different roles. The Watcher is like a security camera, the Ravager is an enforcer, and so forth. Once those base roles were decided, they could really build on that by mixing in robot designs, unique abilities and features, and of course cool weapons and attacks. They're expanding this catalog further with Horizon Forbidden West. A slightly bigger flying machine than the Glinthawk, which resulted in the Sunwing. We studied various flying reptiles and primitive birds for inspiration, and came up with the concept of their wings collecting solar energy during sunny weather. This in turn created an interesting gameplay dynamic. Sunwings will be vulnerable when they are harvesting solar power, but are also more alert to potential predators when they are idle. Unique behaviors like these become the basis, and are then expanded on when we define the machine's roles in the world. The machines are connected, and that they serve a greater purpose, so the whole machine ecosystem is in harmony, just like in the real world. In a previous blog, Guerrilla discussed some of Aloy's abilities and combat moves that she learns in the Forbidden West. some of which will come in very handy against stronger, faster, and deadlier machines. Aloy has many different types of weapons and ammunition available, and she's going to need them all to beat the different machines. Without spoiling anything, every machine has multiple ways to be defeated. They tried to make it clear for players through the machine design, and added textures to show the weak points or interactive components. We'll need to study each machine closely to find different ways to approach it. A lot of machines have various weapons and behaviors that can be used to create an advantage. This is not just in shooting off components and using them, but some machines might have some more passive states during which we can sneak towards them. For example, if a machine is digging for resources in the ground, it'll create a lot of dust. Aloy can use this as a visual cover to get closer. The machines in Horizon Forbidden West are more mobile in almost every way you can imagine, jumping, swimming, clinging to surfaces. Because of this, Aloy will need to keep up with them, so there's new movement mechanics to help her out. They're also focusing more on Aloy's ability to survey and plan an encounter before engaging, as well as her ability to escape if things don't go as planned. Actions like climbing or using a smoke bomb to escape can give Aloy an edge during a machine battle, but it's not just the player mechanics that have been improved. Machines in the Forbidden West are more dangerous, but we can understand their behavior and predict their movements through audio cues. For example, a machine will have specific sounds for idling, alerting others, and initiating attacks. For the PlayStation 5 version of the game, this will come through even more precisely with 3D audio, providing great situational awareness within a vast world when combined with compatible devices like stereo headphones. During the Horizon Forbidden West gameplay trailer, Aloy goes head-to-head with one of the biggest foes we've seen so far, a Tremortusk. While it is truly a spectacular sight to behold, it is also quite difficult to defeat. The Tremortusk is based on a mammoth with a nod to the historic and cinematic examples of the Great War elephants. It has many different attacks and a body covered in various guns. Apart from using its tusks to attack up close, it also has different elemental weapons it can use. The one we see in the trailer is controlled by a rebel faction of the Tenakth, but you can also find them wandering the wilds. It is a reminiscent of a mixture of war elephants and a huge siege tower that was used to attack fortresses in medieval times, hard to destroy, slow-moving, and a lot of firepower. This generated the idea for the Tremortusk, which is a well-armored but slow machine, almost an unstoppable force. In Horizon Forbidden West, human enemy factions can control machines, so it seems like a natural fit to combine the two and make our own spin on war elephants, with a platform on top that humans can fire at Aloy from. To circle back to the machine ecosystem, it was created to keep balance on Earth and ensure that humans cannot wipe out life again. Tremortusks were created as combat machines protecting other machine species, so they can do what they were designed to do without human interference. These also have a laser beam and a flamethrower trunk, so it is quite formidable. While mostly every machine is itching for a fight, they also hugely contribute to the world of Horizon, or offer Aloy help throughout her journey. Think of the Tallnecks, which aren't hostile, and will in fact give Aloy some clarity and direction when overridden. This time around they also added more mounts to explore and ride, as we can see her on the Clawstrider during the gameplay trailer. Some machines may also inadvertently help Aloy out. If a machine is searching for certain resources that Aloy happens to be after, they can lead her to stashes if she's observant. Also, through overriding, Aloy can now exert some control over machine behavior, shifting them into aggressive or defensive states. These new additions to Horizon's pantheon of enemies like the Shell Snapper and others are sure to keep us even more engaged than ever before, and will hopefully require players to use everything in Aloy's arsenal to emerge victorious. And that's the update from Guerrilla Games, and I can't wait for diving into the Forbidden West. Moving forward, Marvel's Avengers has finally revealed its SpiderMan DLC, and there are some promising aspects of how Spider-Man's character is portrayed. Over a year since he was first announced for Marvel's Avengers, fans were finally treated to a first proper look at the wisecracking web crawler Spider-Man with a promotional image featuring him alongside his fellow Avengers. Now, Crystal Dynamics has shared a trailer for the upcoming DLC expansion that shows him in action. The reveal trailer is available on IGN's YouTube channel, and while it doesn't feature any gameplay, it does give us an idea of how Spider-Man will fight when he does arrive as a playable character. The pre-rendered trailer sees several Inhuman prisoners being captured by AIM, the main villainous organization in Marvel's Avengers, and loaded into a truck, prompting Spider-Man to swing in and take out the AIM grunts. There's no official statement on who Spider-Man's voice actor is, but it clearly isn't Yuri Lowenthal, who voiced the character in the Insomniac-developed Spider-Man game for PlayStation 4. This should make it abundantly clear that this is not the same Spider-Man, and the two games don't share a continuity. There's also a potential reference to Mortal Kombat, with Spider-Man yelling "come over here" in an almost similar vein to Scorpion's iconic "get over here" line. Soon, Spider-Man finds himself outnumbered, but he is quickly joined by the rest of the Avengers, culminating in a shot of every playable character in the game standing together as Spider-Man quotes "Avengers Assemble." The trailer ends with the Inhuman prisoners freed, and the trailer reminds everyone that Spider-Man will arrive on November 30th, and it is a PlayStation exclusive. He's not the only thing coming as part of the next major update. Crystal Dynamics has also confirmed a new raid against Claw, the supervillain introduced during the Black Panther War for Wakanda expansion, as well as several gameplay changes and improvements. Spider-Man's history through the comics has seen him move back and forth from being a lone hero to someone who becomes a dedicated part of a team. When he is a part of a team though, Spider-Man is often the brightest light among occasionally melodramatic heroes. Much like in the MCU, Avengers like Iron Man have served as a sort of mentor to Spidey, and he's also built up a camaraderie with the likes of Wolverine and Doctor Strange. These relationships have served as a great source of entertainment over the years, and they show how Spider-Man's constant quips and lightheartedness can forge strong connections. One of the biggest concerns leading up to the release of Marvel's Avengers Spider-Man DLC is just how much depth would be given to the character. While having Spider-Man in a game like Avengers sounds nice on paper, the DLC could feel pretty empty if he doesn't add anything meaningful to the overall game. Luckily, it seems that Crystal Dynamics has made sure that Spider-Man really fits in with the Avengers as much as possible. While they were brief moments, the end of Spider-Man's reveal trailer showed him interacting with Kamala Khan and having a comedic conversation with Hulk about how to say his name. Not only does it show that the game is recognizing Spidey's past comic relationships, but it also demonstrates how he will have the entertaining personality that is central to the character. So, even if the suit or the voice isn't what some fans expected, the fun of Spider-Man as a character is all still there. While this cinematic reveal provided some much-needed relief for many Marvel's Avengers players, Spider-Man's gameplay and overall place in the game still remains to be seen. Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics will be pulling back the curtain very soon ahead of the DLC's November 30th launch, and it will likely be the most important presentation in the game's short history. As promising as Spider-Man's characterization in Marvel's Avengers appears, it's going to take a lot more than that for his DLC to meet expectations. Crystal Dynamics has shared first looks at some of the Spider-Man skin cosmetics that players can look forward to, starting with another look at Marvel's Avengers' original default design for Spider-Man's iconic suit. Crystal Dynamics' ambition with the design was admittedly to retain the character's iconography, whilst modernizing it to appropriately suit Marvel's Avengers' established character roster. But as fans have been itching for optional skins to be revealed, Crystal Dynamics had 6 to share in a livestream a few days ago. The first marketplace cosmetic for Spider-Man that players have been shown is the classic suit, inspired by Steve Ditko's traditional design from the 60s. Perhaps the most seminal of all Spider-Man costumes, Ditko's work provided a foundational base for suit iterations henceforth. Marvel's Avengers cosmetic showcases that inspiration on its sleeve, but Crystal Dynamics also wishes to share cosmetics that are a bit more obscure in Spider-Man lore. The next cosmetic shown was the reflective, black Enchrome Mark I armor plating suitable for its influential comic book name, Spider Armor. Another armor-based Spider-Man outfit was also revealed in the red and black Mark III armor, popularized from the Amazing Spider-Man's Ends of the Earth comic book arc. The Bugle Boy cosmetic is another Marvel's Avengers original design, this time showcasing Peter Parker's casual attire as a photographer at the Daily Bugle, but with his mask donned and web shooters equipped in order to thwart nearby crime in a pinch. The developer stream claimed that this was the final outfit that would be shown. However, while listening to eager fans in the chat, Crystal Dynamics either caved or deliberately planned to show off another Spider-Man skin cosmetic, the Spider-Man Noir outfit, complete with a trenchcoat that the developers praise for its apparent fidelity in gameplay. The developer stream continued to talk about other Marvel's Avengers matters, but a recent blog post for the design influences in Spider-Man's cosmetics has revealed one final suit, the Secret War suit, based upon the limited series comic arc of the same name. Marvel's Avengers War Table Deep Dive will center on Spider-Man's gameplay and abilities a day before the character is released on November 30th, so fans can look forward to more information about Spider-Man at the end of the month, and I hope that Spider-Man content is good.
Avengers, assemble! Bad guy, scatter.
Couldn't have put it better myself, buddy.
What can you say? Keep moving, guys, keep moving. Come on, let's go. This way!
Kamala, put her there. Spider-Man!
We'll keep working on it.
In recent weeks, there have been hints that news regarding Hogwarts Legacy would be coming soon. Wizardkind across the world is still waiting for that update, but the speculation surrounding a pending reveal has dug up some other interesting information. Namely, a recent Hogwarts Legacy interview appears to have helped establish the game's release timeline in somewhat more detail. More specifically, Harry Potter fans will likely be waiting at least through the release of the next Fantastic Beasts film, but not until 2023. The interview in question is with Warner Bros. General Manager Rachel Wackley, speaking with Toy World. Wackley is asked about what Harry Potter fans can look forward to in 2022. Her response is that there are two major Harry Potter content releases coming up. Using Wackley's language, first will be the film Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. Second will be Hogwarts Legacy. Wackley distinctly puts Fantastic Beasts and Hogwarts Legacy in that order, first and then second. While Wackley doesn't say anything explicitly, leaving room for doubt and so making this a rumor at best, she implies two specific details about Hogwarts Legacy's release window. Saying that Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore will be first implies the game's launch will follow. Since the new Fantastic Beasts film launches April 15, 2022, that places Hogwarts Legacy in April or later. Further, Wackley's response is to a question regarding content launching in 2022. In other words, she's implying that Hogwarts Legacy remains on track for release in 2022. This is a previously confirmed release window for Hogwarts Legacy, following a delay announcement made in January 2021. Still, it's always reassuring to have previously announced release windows reconfirmed, particularly for a game with a lot of drama surrounding it. Putting those 2 points together leads to a release window of April through December 2022 for Hogwarts Legacy. It's not much more specific than a general 2022 release window, but it's something for Harry Potter fans to chew on as they wait for Warner Bros. To provide its next update on the game's development. At this point, a post-April launch date for Hogwarts Legacy is no big surprise. It's November, after all, and winter 2022 is rapidly approaching. Since Warner Bros. Hasn't talked about Hogwarts Legacy in some time, a quick release is unlikely. Wackley's response reinforces that. While anything is possible, with so many games launching in winter 2022 already, it's probably in Harry Potter, Hogwarts Legacy's best interest to launch later in the year anyway. If Hogwarts Legacy waits until September or October of 2022 to release, it could find itself in a prime position to keep fans interested and capitalize on some of the busiest times for games. Many major titles pick this period before the holiday season to release, with November being a great time for people looking to play something new. Fall is in the Northern Hemisphere is also prime time for Harry Potter fans with Hogwarts nostalgia. With the original Harry Potter movies connected to fall, Halloween, and the holiday season, waiting until just before then to release Hogwarts Legacy could help with the game's commercial success, especially considering the shutdown of Harry Potter, Wizards Unite could leave a void. In the United States, it isn't uncommon for television networks to run Harry Potter marathons around this time of year, and a media environment full of Harry Potter would keep the game on people's minds. Simultaneously, it would create a window for fans to get comfortable with the game before the holidays. Since November and December also have sales geared toward people looking to purchase gifts, establishing a community just before the season starts could bode well for Hogwarts Legacy's future. It would allow players dedicated to the Harry Potter franchise a chance to get comfortable with the game and sell their friends on its content. With the right amount of time separating Hogwarts Legacy from Fantastic Beasts 3, it could theoretically create a perfect storm to keep players engaged. Release times aren't selected randomly, and while many gamers prefer the artistic aspect of games, they do still need to make money. Strategic release dates are nothing new, and even though Hogwarts Legacy isn't likely to use Unreal Engine 5, it still looks ambitious, and should aim for the best immediate market performance coupled with longevity. One of the best ways to attempt both is with a strong fall release date. Emphasizing this are some open-ended comments from Warner Bros. General Manager Rachel Wackley, who has previously highlighted the April release of Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore, with a confirmation that Hogwarts Legacy would release after. While the statement doesn't give an exact day, previous updates confirmed the push to a 2022 release window. It doesn't mean another delay won't happen, as the global pandemic has taken a toll on every industry, but it seems likely fans won't have to wait longer than a year. Everyone wants a concrete release date that will confirm the anticipated game as early as possible, as being excited for long periods can be an exercise in patience. Hogwarts Legacy was originally delayed in January, soon after its reveal, and it would make sense that if the decision was being made once again, it would happen sooner than later. It wouldn't necessarily mean anything bad, as games take a lot of time and effort to make, but we should look to next fall as the most likely time to begin exploring the maze-like halls of Hogwarts for ourselves. Regardless, the Game Awards seems like an opportune time for Avalanche Studios and Warner Bros. Interactive's Portkey Games to share more about Hogwarts Legacy. With the Game Awards set to air on December 9th, we won't have to wait long to find out. Warner Bros. Interactive is no slouch in the gaming industry, being the publisher behind many major video game series such as Batman Arkham, Fear, Mortal Kombat, DC titles, Middle-earth, LEGO games, Harry Potter, and more. Warner Bros. Interactive was formed as a division of Warner Bros. Entertainment back in 2004, having published over 250 games in the time since. WB has managed games of all shapes and sizes, but at least in recent years, it hasn't had one like its upcoming 2022 lineup. While it's possible plans change or some delays happen, 2022 is currently shaping up to be a big year for Warner Bros. Interactive and several studios working with it. The sheer variety of its releases is noteworthy too. But if everything goes as planned, fans will be getting Hogwarts Legacy, LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, Gotham Knights, and Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League next year. Not a lot of release information is currently known about these games, but there may be enough to put together a totally speculative but largely reasonable release schedule for these games. Warner Bros. Interactive would likely avoid releasing these games too close together, as not to have one cannibalize the sales of another, so this is ordered with that in mind. LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga has been delayed quite a few times by this point, so it really remains to be seen if it makes the new window. Given the complications of the pandemic, as well as the last movie coming out just before it began in December 2019, these delays have been understandable. And, perhaps, its latest release window of early 2022 will pay off. It's entirely possible the game releases in February or March, as perhaps more than any other game here, it's had the marketing for it. Not too long ago, Gotham Knights' release window was leaked as spring 2022. It was more than the average run-of-the-mill leak, but still vague enough to need a healthy dose of salt. Essentially, an individual who does art for various companies had accidentally included an image with spring 2022 marked on it. Then, the Nightwing VA had responded vaguely to the news online, pushing the rumor even further. Operating on the assumption this is true, spring is traditionally viewed as April, May, and June. If Gotham Knights is the second game to release, May and June are considered Q2, and that would fit in with the sparse release info, and keep it distant enough from other games. As a quick note, Gotham Knights and LEGO Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga may be easily swappable here. Gotham Knights is largely described as spring 2022, while LEGO Star Wars is early 2022. Some even point to Q2 Q3 for LEGO Star Wars, but while that public information is largely vague and shifting, these two titles being released in the first half of the year seems likely. Recently, an interview suggested Hogwarts Legacy won't release until after the next Fantastic Beasts movie, The Secrets of Dumbledore. That's set to release on April 15, 2022, and this shorter window makes sense given how little is known about Hogwarts Legacy right now. Instead, it would be wiser to spend some time in the first half of the year releasing marketing materials for Hogwarts Legacy, showing what kind of Harry Potter RPG it's going to be, and releasing it after the movie in Q3, July, August, or September. The last two, based on historical releases, seem to be the most likely, but with as little as is known about this game, it feels like it's the most likely to be delayed of the four. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, due to the increasing popularity of the anti-hero team and general hype surrounding it as a DC title set in the same Arkhamverse where Batman should be dead, is likely the big AAA fall/holiday release for Warner Bros. It's gotten more official artwork and trailers than Hogwarts Legacy, though that doesn't rule out a delay here, but that's mostly its relation to DC, and the fact it was originally meant to release in 2021. Regardless of Hogwarts Legacy releasing later than anticipated here or being delayed entirely, there are two things to keep in mind with Suicide Squad. It feels less likely to be delayed again than Hogwarts Legacy, but it's not impossible. Secondly, even if Hogwarts Legacy does get delayed, Suicide Squad is not likely to move from a comfortable November 2022 release date slot. LEGO Star Wars and Gotham Knights feel like the massive openers, while Hogwarts Legacy and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League come in as just as strong closers. If all four games do manage to release next year, WB might just dominate the new year alongside PlayStation. Speaking of PlayStation, the PlayStation 5 is celebrating its first anniversary, and it's been an interesting road. Few consoles can claim to have generated the amount of buzz that the PlayStation 5 has since it debuted. The demand for the system is still so high that it's nearly impossible to buy one. Now, a year has passed and the PS5 is celebrating its first birthday. Launched on November 12, 2020, the PS5 has had a great launch, not including the supply issues. It's also one of the biggest leaps that we have seen in hardware for a single generation, making vastly better load times, innovations in tech and great games. The PS5 launched at an interesting time, as the coronavirus pandemic made it unsafe to venture into stores for a console, and hopeful buyers had to compete against bots to find one online. However, those lucky enough to get one have now had a year of new games, both exclusive to the system, and a healthy smattering of cross-gen releases. However, 2021 has also been a year with a heap of game delays, pushing much of what players were planning to dive into all the way to 2022. That being said, there was still plenty for owners to play throughout the year, with major exclusives like Astro's Playroom, Returnal, Ratchet and Clank, and Demon's Souls offering dozens, if not hundreds, of hours of content for players to enjoy. Plus, there were lots of major third-party games to round out the list, with some of the defining ones being cross-generation releases like Marvel's SpiderMan Miles Morales, Sackboy: A Big Adventure, The Pathless, Guilty Gear Strive, and the expansions of Ghost of Tsushima, Death Stranding and Final Fantasy VII Remake. It may have been lacking Horizon Forbidden West, but it's still a great lineup of games. The improvement's been more clear than with the DualSense controller, which Sony has turned into one of the PS5's key selling points. In fact, the DualSense may be one of the most innovative controllers ever made, enhancing gameplay experiences in ways that were difficult to imagine just a few years ago. The DualSense's adaptive triggers are worth pointing out, in particular. While not every game has used them, and not every game that has used them have used them well, the adaptive triggers add an entirely new level of immersion. The most common example has likened it to drawing a bowstring, with the adaptive triggers adding their own special tension to the experience as players pull the bowstring back. It's a different feeling to imagine without putting hands on it directly, but it makes a massive difference in how games feel to play. The haptic feedback also makes another layer of immersion, from feeling rain droplets to feeling the different kinds of surfaces we walk to many other beautiful things. If there's any feature deserving of more support in the future, it's far and away the DualSense controller. While certain games have done interesting things with the DualSense, there's still a ton of untapped potential for developers. Immersion has always been an important aspect of gaming, and engaging the senses are the best way to build on that immersion. While gamers used to jokingly state that smell-o-vision will be the next level of immersion, it's clear now that touch will be an absolutely huge element of how gamers interact with video games in the future. Astro's Playroom is a game that showcases the DualSense controller to a greater extent than other games. And also 3D audio makes a huge difference experiencing the game. From Astro's Playroom to Returnal to Ratchet, these features are greatly utilized, and those are appreciable. The other tech that was more creatively established was the SSD. The SSD in the PS5 is a game changer. Not only with faster to zero load time, it brings a whole new level of gaming into the play. You can clearly see the technical achievement in Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, where Ratchet and Rivet leap from planet to planet in an instance, where a whole new area is rendered in a flash. This is only the beginning, and through this innovative and extraordinary tech, the level designs in games should become better. And also ray tracing and a few quality of life improvements, to mention a few. All merits aside, there are some improvements they could make in the UI of the PlayStation 5 to some custom accessories. Other than that, it's been a great year for the PlayStation 5. During this time, PlayStation Studios also grew in size after the recent acquisitions of Bluepoint Games, Firesprite, Housemarque, Fabric Games and Nixes. As a way to celebrate PS5's first anniversary, Sony has released a list of the top-played games on the platform. The post first reveals some noteworthy statistics, as of September 30th, about the PS5 software lineup. It confirms that over 360 games have been released for the console, and more than 25 titles are currently in development at PlayStation Studios. It later states that PS5 users have collectively played over 4.6 billion hours of gameplay, in addition to broadcasting over 26 million hours of content. Finally, the blog post lists the top 10 PS5 games based on gameplay hours. Fortnite, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, FIFA 21, NBA 2K21, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Destiny 2, MLB The Show 21, Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, Demon's Souls and NBA 2K22. Some of the biggest franchises in the world like Call of Duty, Destiny, and Assassin's Creed, in addition to sports games like NBA, FIFA, and MLB The Show, are all well represented in this list. NBA 2K22 showing up at the final spot is perhaps the biggest surprise, given that it released just 2 months ago. The blog post also confirms that PS5 is the biggest console launch in history, before acknowledging the ongoing stock issues. It is not surprising to see Fortnite at the top of this list, but there are a few other noteworthy entries. Fans probably expected Marvel's Spider-Man, Miles Morales to be there despite its relatively short length, but even Demon's Souls made it, which is a remarkable achievement considering its sales potential when compared to the other games on this list. PS5 overall had a great first year, and 2022 is looking even better with Horizon Forbidden West, God of War Ragnarok, and Gran Turismo 7 and PSVR 2 all scheduled to launch next year. While the PS5 software lineup is filled with exciting games, the console is still not easy to find. A recent report suggests that Sony has just lowered the total supply of PS5 consoles for the rest of the fiscal year from 16 million units to around 14.8 million. This decrease is primarily due to the ongoing semiconductor shortage that is affecting various industries all around the world. Despite that, Sony has partnered with TSMC on their new branch at Japan in semiconductor manufacturing. They own a 20% stake in the company, which hopes to increase the semiconductor supply to manufacture Sony's products including the PlayStation 5. Sony has been aggressive with the PS5 supply, through using 3 cargo 747's jumbo jets to send large quantities of PS5s from manufacturing plants in China to retailers in the UK. Black Friday itself isn't far away either, so PlayStation Store deals should come in soon too. Supply issues aside though, those that are able to get their hands on the PS5 will likely look back fondly at the last year. There's a lot of promise on the horizon for the system, and that's a great thing for owners. And above all else, I wish the PS5 a very happy birthday. And that's all for the video guys. Like and share the video for a greater audience. Comment your thoughts on the topics and donations are always appreciated. Subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon, and until then from SMPV, it's goodbye.